Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we got to talk about why your boy Andy Cohen cannot catch a break. Y'all, these people are not letting a foot up off of his neck. Find out what is going on and what he is being blamed for now. Plus, we talking summer house and a little Jersey and Beverly Hills tea. Okay. So we're gonna get into all that, but before we do, listen, y'all, the trip is on. Okay. We only have about, I think at this point, 10 more spots left. Like about yeah, 10, I think exactly 10 spots left. So if you guys are interested in doing this trip to Bali with me in September, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. My whole life and my perspective changed when I was in Switzerland, and I decided that travel was going to be the thing that I really focused on in 2024. So that is why I am taking you guys on this first trip to Bali. If you are interested, definitely reserve your spot today. Listen, I feel like every day we're having somebody else sign up. So I want you guys to get in on those last 10 spots so we can get this trip popping, and then I can announce my next one. You guys can see here that you can pay 25% down and you guys can pay with a firm. All right, Andy. What a go on with you, friend? What a go on. According to our sources at Reality Blurb, Andy Cohen is addressing the rumor that he is to blame for the BravoCon cancellation. Plus, he reacts to fans wanting Bravo to buy Sonja Morgan's townhouse. If you are a fan of Real Housewives of New York City, you will know that townhouse is legendary and Sonja still ain't sold that thing. Okay? So let's get into the story of it all, right? So Andy, I feel like, got to take to his radio show literally just about every day at this point in time to address stories. This month, or this story is actually about the fact that BravoCon will not be happening in 2025. Chime down in the chatterization if you attended BravoCon. It will not. BravoCon will not happen until 2025. So that means it's not happening this year in 2024. Now, chime in the chat if you guys attended BravoCon in 2023. Let me know, or the one prior to that in New York. I believe 2023 was in Vegas. I believe they want to have it in Vegas again in 2025. He ends up saying that he read over the weekend that In Touch is blaming him for BravoCon getting canceled. Okay. Now, this is likely in response to, lawsuits and allegations and things like that, which we did talk about in yesterday's video, right? So Andy then says on his radio show, I mean, who did I piss off at In Touch? They're really on me. This is the most I thought about In Touch in a very long time. I was like, ooh, shade. So he basically says that their theory that it was canceled because he is going through it is not true. He says, I think the decision to pause the conference was made long ago because with the availabilities for the locations that we want it to be, it would have been that we would have had to have it in, I think, September of this year or something like that. And he felt like it was way too soon. And he said, I'm glad. He said, last year after BravoCon, I remember, and I didn't choose when BravoCon is. So he made that clear. He says, but I remember saying to the powers that be at Bravo that I hope we're skipping a year. Okay. So he wanted to skip a year. And I think the network probably did too. I think sometimes when you do something like that back to back, I think that people understand the cost. Last year, they did it in November, and I feel like they probably wanted to do it in the same time. Also, too, that's going to be an interesting time of year for us in general, because that's also going to be the election time. So I just kind of feel like it probably made more sense to wait until 2025 to do it anyway. Now, with regards to now y'all want the people to pick up Sonja's townhouse and sell it for her. So apparently the townhouse is going on the market again. Okay. And he was like, I've gotten so many inquiries from people wanting Bravo to buy it and turn it into a museum. And he says, I think it's a real fixer upper. He says, I think maybe it's just better left. But listen, If she gets 10 million for it, which is what it's on the market for, or even if she gets 9 or 8, then that's a nice piece of change for a place like that. She'll be set. But what you guys, I don't know if you guys know, the townhouse is currently on the market for 7.5 million, but it's set to go up for auction this month on May 15th to May 29th. And starting bids are expected to be in the range of 1.7 million to 3.75 million. So it ain't going to be that much. Now, if we saving houses, I mean, then I wonder, would that also be the same for Bravo trying to save Kim's house, which is allegedly supposed to go into foreclosure as well? I didn't even want to talk about that story because I just felt like I just couldn't do it. I just didn't want to talk about Kim. I just didn't want to talk about Kim. And that was just it. Okay. Maybe on another day I feel like talking about Kim. But for me, listen, sometimes, some days you just be like, I don't feel like talking about this. I don't feel like talking about that today. Y'all feel like that? Okay. So anyway, let's move on to Summer House. Okay. So the Summer House reunion is filming today. Okay. Summer House, Martha's Vineyard reunion is filming today. Shout out to our friends over at Queens of Bravo. But I don't know if you guys watched that other Summer House, which I do not. The Hamptons one is filming on Friday. So if you're interested in that, go on, over there and watch that. But here is also some tea as well that I just happened to see before I jumped on this video, right? So Carlos King sat down for an interview with Jasmine, okay? Now, many of you guys feel a certain type of way about Jasmine. I personally like Jasmine. I don't understand why the rest of the girls do not like her in that way. I understand why people may not like her husband as much based on certain things that happened last year. And to be fair with you guys, I felt like last season, I felt like she was maybe put in the position of being the nucleus, and maybe she took that role to heart more seriously than I felt like maybe her castmates would have wanted her to. So maybe that was part of the reason why she got sort of iced out or so isolated from the rest of the cast. But Carlos was asking her who she thought should get first chair in this clip based on the reunion coming out tomorrow. I mean, well, it'll come out in a couple of weeks, I would assume. But the fact that it's filming today it's great timing on their part that they put this out today, right? So my question is to you guys, who do you think should get first chair on either side of Andy for this reunion, which is their first reunion? Now, Jasmine says that she feels like it should be her. If it's based on story, she feels like she's shared the most in terms of her story, and it should be Preston, okay, on the other side. And Carlos agreed. Now, my thought initially, I'm not going to lie to you guys, when I think about this show, I was thinking to myself, who in my mind should be first chairs on each side? And I'm going to probably say, in my mind, initially, I would have thought it should be Jasmine and Jordan if I'm basing it on the drama, okay? Or Jasmine and Bria, because Bria is always in a drama like every episode, just about, to me. But I'm not mad at it being Preston, because I also feel like, and I put in this comment, I put that Preston is a great narrator for this show. He is able to narrate and navigate the chaos of this show with such ease. Now, some of it might have been traumatic for him, particularly his dealings previously with Phil, but I just feel like his take on things is very grounded. And I think that I could see him being such a standout that he would be in that first position. So what do you guys think? Who do you guys think should get first chair on each side? And I've seen some people say Summer, because she's had a whole lot of, issues this season as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm so happy that Summer House is getting its just due down to the Bravo, because it is nice to see a show that feels so super refreshing. And it has not been bogged down by, social media chatter that makes it feel toxic. I mean, some of their relationships might feel a little toxic, but it feels like the general consensus is people love the show. All right, so let's move on. All right, speaking of a little bit of toxicity, okay, just a wee bit of toxicity here. We're about to get into some interesting things going on with some of our other shows that are on Bravo. And we're going to be talking about, at this point, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because it looks like things are really starting to shake up for Kyle and Mauricio. Okay. Now, according to Us Weekly, and shout out to again our friends at Queens of Bravo, who allege that production on the new season is starting very soon, even though I saw on Amazon Live recently where Kyle basically was indicating she didn't know if she was coming back. And I'm like, girl, you probably coming back. Okay. But anyway, they're saying that Mauricio has purchased a luxury Hollywood condo after moving out of the home with Kyle Richards. Okay. So it says Kyle and Mauricio have been living separately for the last few months, and he's been staying there. This is what the source tells them. They've both been traveling a lot recently, so it's working out where they don't stay under one roof. While they don't live together full time, he will visit their primary residence often when Kyle is out of town. This is what the source is saying. Now, Us Weekly confirms that he did purchase the luxury condo in a new West Hollywood development. Now, the second source is telling them that Matt Damon has an $8.6 million unit in the same building. I mean, these are some millions upon millions upon millions. I mean, honestly, this is the type of lifestyle that I want to see on my television screen. I want to see rich and fabulous in $8.6 million homes. Okay. Now, whether or not we'll actually see that home on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills remains to be seen, because Kyle has not seemed to be too keen on actually sharing what's really going on in her real life. But I digress. If you want to see this home, you can probably watch and get more tea from buying Beverly Hills than you do from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay. With that being said, let's move on to our last topic. I told you guys that we would do our best to try to recap the Real Housewives of New Jersey, but Lord have mercy. When we talk about like toxic relationships, this is the show, okay, right here. This is the show of all shows. Now, Jersey always seems to do well in the ratings for some reason or another, and I think it is because the fans are so engaged. But I just feel like it'd be going to levels upon levels upon levels that, I just honestly, in my mind and my spirit, I don't know if I have time for. But we are going to do our best to cover it on this channel because I've always loved Jersey. I'm going to see how I feel about it, and we'll work through it as we go. Chime down if you are a Jersey fan, and if you have been a Jersey fan from the beginning down in the chatterization. And who are your favorite characters? I want to know who that is. All right, so let's run through their taglines real quick before we get into the new season. There's also some other tea going on with Jersey, but I just feel like this is probably where we will stay. We will stay where it is. It's on the feel good, and it's a little bit of tea, a little bit of drama, but not too crazy, right? So Teresa's tagline reads, "You can try to tear me down, but this tree just keeps on growing." So this is a little bit of a take on her nickname, which is Trey or Tree, which is, I guess, a shortened form of Teresa, or sort of a nickname, I should say, that people call her Trey, Tree, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not invested in the pronunciation. Let me know what you think of this tagline. I don't mind it. I feel like I think it makes sense, and it works for the nickname. All right, so now we have her arch nemesis, Melissa. It's hard not to burn bridges when you're on fire. Now, I would think that this would work if she is a fire sign. That could possibly make this tagline a bit more intriguing to me. It's a little on the self-indulgent side, but I think that that's what these taglines are supposed to be. Okay. All right, so Dolores says, I'm a girl from Patterson playing Switzerland, dating an Irishman. Now, it's the Switzerland for me. I ain't gonna need a lot of y'all. It is the Switzerland for me. As we know, Switzerland is known for its neutrality in matters that have to do with the world stage. Learned so much about Switzerland while I was there. So I think that this tagline is very interesting. A girl from Patterson playing Switzerland, dating an Irishman. All things that are true. She's constantly in the middle. She's from Patterson and she's dating an Irishman. I think that this one is spot on and I think it's kind of clever. All right. So we have Danielle, who is um relatively new in these streets, but sounds like she's gonna be in the chaos. She was on last season for those of you guys who did not watch. She says, I'm bougie, unbothered, and above your drama. This one is it's given basic for me. She's definitely looks beautiful in her cast photo, but you know, it, it reminds me of like Housewives circa seasons 1 through 5 or something like that. If they even had they had taglines in the beginning, but it just reminds me of one of those old taglines, and it's just kind of throwaway to me. I don't know. So Marge's is, while you're taking cheap shots, I'm taking screenshots. Now, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Margaret Josephs and her role on the show, but Margaret always seems to have all the tea, and it seems like this tagline is kind of spot on in terms of like screenshots and stuff like that and being in the know. So this one kind of makes sense to me, and it sounds a little dangerous. I mean, when I really think about it. So we have Jennifer Aiden who says, friends are like handbags. The fake ones are all too easy to spot. I don't know why this reminds me of something that I would hear in Beverly Hills. Like, does this not sound like a Beverly Hills tagline? Like something that almost like Kyle would say. Like, that's just what is given to me, to be honest with you. And then our final tagline is from Rachel. It says, if you don't have my back, at least have a backbone. Hmm. See, now to me, this one would be more interesting if I knew specifically who she was talking about, which I'm sure may become clearer as the season goes on. But I am not mad at it. I just don't know that I'm all the way invested in it because I feel like there's some stuff left to the imagination. So let's look at our top 3 taglines. All right. So let's figure it out. All right. I'm not mad at this one. This one is my favorite. I think you guys know why. I'm probably a little bit biased on that because of the Switzerland of it all, but I just think it's kind of clever to me. Something about it. The screenshots is kind of interesting to me as well. Yeah, it might be those 3 for me. I think it may be those 3 for me. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Who do you guys think had the best tagline? Are you excited for the new season of the Real Housewives of New Jersey? Again, we're gonna try to recap it. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with it. And we're gonna definitely try to get back to our Martha's Vineyards recap. I did the one. But so much else had been going on, so I needed to really focus on some other things as the weeks have been going on. Just some really big work things outside of um, reality TV news that I've been working on that I'm really, really super excited about that are coming to fruition. So I'm really, really happy about that. Guys, if you haven't already done so, pre-order the new book, The Wickedest Wives, book 2. It's called A Vicious Reality. It is available on Amazon.com. Definitely tap into the trip if you are in any way, shape, or form interested in going to Bali with us to relax, rejuvenate, refresh, recenter, and transform our lives through travel. Definitely feel free to tap in on that trip. We have a full itinerary. We have local guides. We're going to be they have vegetarian options for the food. We're staying in 4-star accommodations. I mean, listen, what more do you need? man, what more do you need? It is going to be the trip of a lifetime. And I'm super excited because I've never been to Bali. So we get to experience it for the first time together. All right, so links will be in the description down below. With that being said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like this video if you like reality TV related content. And of course, I will catch you in the next